Let's take a look at pre-treating garments. We are pre-treating both light and dark garments, whether we're printing with or without white ink. So I have here a white cotton garment. I'm going to set it up on my heat press. Now, for white cotton, okay, we are going to press this with a medium pressure for pre-treat at 340 degrees. And the pre-press part is going to be for about 15 seconds just to help flatten the fibers, drive any moisture out of the garment. When it comes to the pre-treat, to dry it, we're going to be drying this for 20 seconds at 340 degrees. So first I want to check the pressure, and that's not enough pressure. Okay, nice pressure, 15 seconds. Okay, now we're going to take the garment, we're going to bring it over to our pre-treat area. Now we've got a nice little area set up over here. We're going to set the garment down. On a nice flat surface. Now, before we begin, let's talk about the manual pre-treat process. We've got our Wagner sprayer. This is the motor end. And then we've got the front ends. Now, your unit's going to come with two different front ends if you're manually pre-treating, because you've got two different kinds of pre-treat. You've got your P30i, the one that looks clear, which is for your light garment. This is when we are not printing with white ink. And then we have our dark cotton pre-treat, and this is for when we are using white ink. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and we have already filled up our front ends. The milky one is the one for the dark garments where we're using the white underbase, and this one here is the one that we're using on our white cotton and our white polyester shirts. So now we simply put the front end on. It simply turns and locks. And then we can adjust the trigger. We typically like the trigger adjusted to about medium. Medium is where, if you look at the little sleeve in the center where the spring is, okay, we want this gray piece about at the end of that little sleeve on the inside where the yellow ends. We also want to make sure that the nozzle tip is horizontal, which gives us a vertical spray. The spray is always the opposite of the way you see the front. Okay, so now we're ready to start pre-treating. The first thing we always want to do is we always want to prime the gun. We're going to do that by pulling the trigger. Now, before the motor ends, I want to make sure that I'm ready to start spraying. When I do spray, I want to be approximately 10 to 14 inches away. Okay, I want to spray a nice, easy, even strokes. I want to make sure I don't stop out at the edges, because otherwise we will wind up with excess pre-treat out at the edges. And it is always best if you treat one way, turn the gun, and then treat the other way so you get a nice, even coverage. What's going to determine the amount of product that is applied is going to be how fast you move, as well as how you made the adjustment on the trigger. So here we go. We're going to start by making sure that it's spraying properly. And now we're going to apply our pre-treat. Nice even coat of pre-treat. And now we are going to take this garment over to our heat press to dry the pre-treat. Set the garment on the heat press. We're going to cover it with our release paper. or a Teflon sheet. The one thing you cannot use when you do this is parchment paper. And I'm going to dry this for 20 seconds at 340 degrees. There's my 20 seconds. We remove our cover sheet. And your cover sheet is never parchment paper. It's always release paper or Teflon.